Thank you, Mr. Chairman, and thank you, Special Counsel Durham, for being here today. As has been noted, it's been 4 years and $6.5 million of an investigation. And the Durham report makes no new recommendations to change FBI policy or procedure. It does not conclude that the Crossfire Hurricane investigation should not have been opened, and it even acknowledges that the Clinton campaign did nothing worthy of prosecution. Sadly, the Durham report dredges up allegations from unsuccessful prosecutions, including claims that have been rejected by judge and jury. The flaws of the Durham process were so troubling that some aides resigned in protest. I did Google and, in fact, read the news articles around the resignation of Nora Donahue, it is reported that she resigned because of pressure on you and the special counsel group to produce a report or an interim report prior to the presidential election. You can't comment on Nora Donahue's personnel matter. Were you ever encouraged, persuaded, pressured to issue an interim or report prior to the presidential election?
I can say without hesitation, I was not pressured into doing anything.
Was it suggested to you?
It was not suggested to me.
And yet it might have been suggested to someone who worked under you, separate from you.
I don't believe so.
Okay. Mr. Durham, would it have been a dereliction of duty if the FBI sat on its hands and did not investigate with the information they had in front of them? Isn't it true?
I'm sure the Bureau has an obligation to investigate. They should investigate information that they receive from the public or otherwise. And generally speaking, yeah, they have an obligation to look at and assess information.
And in this case, they had an affirmative duty to investigate. Would you agree?
They had an affirmative duty to assess the information they had gotten from the Australian diplomats.
Which would be an investigation. You were assigned to investigate that investigation. Mr. Durham, when did you first meet with Attorney General Barr about a potential investigation into the Mueller report, Mueller investigation?
You know, I was appointed in May of 2019. I had met Attorney General Barr after, not in connection with these matters, but I think I initially met the Attorney General when I became the U.S. Attorney for Connecticut.
Let me just put the calendar together. It was on March 22nd that the Mueller report was submitted to Attorney General Barr. Would you agree with that?
That's March 22nd. And
correct. According to public records, you met with Attorney General Barr on March 25th, 3 days later.
Okay.
And on March 24th, Attorney General Barr released his so-called summary document of a 448-page report, which blatantly mischaracterized the findings in the Mueller report. Would you agree with that?
No.
Did you discuss the Mueller report during your meeting with Mr. Barr on March 25th?
I don't believe so. I think that
the timing was 3 days after he received the report, and you don't think in your meeting you talked about the Mueller report? I
don't think that was. I think it was when I was meeting the Attorney General because I had become the U.S. Attorney in Connecticut in mid to late February.
Maybe you could search your memory and get back to us on that. It's troubling to me because it is clear you were brought in by Attorney General Barr the same week the Mueller report was released and the day after his misleading letter, which hung out there for 25 days before the public got our hands and our eyes on the redacted report. You were hired to investigate the investigators. 1 week after you met with Mr. Barr, on April 13th, Attorney General Barr's counselor, Seth DeCharme, emailed you offering assistance on behalf of Barr, saying, quote, John, the AG has made me aware of the redacted material you're working with him on, and he asked me to provide you with my support and assistance. Is that true?
I think that's correct.
Okay.
I don't remember the date, but that sounds right.
And that's only April. So I'm wondering if you weren't yet put into this field. Donald Trump was very vocal on Twitter, as he always has been, about his belief that the Mueller investigation should never have been taken. Are you aware of his tweets?
I know that the former president was a tweeter, yes.
He was a tweeter. Some Republicans on this committee believed that part of your purpose was to exonerate Mr. Donald Trump. I want to take you back to your opening statement. It's at paragraph 4. As you know, Mr. Durham, you said this morning, if repeated or left unaddressed, these issues could result in significant national security risks and further erode public faith in our justice system. We now sit with a former president indicted 37 counts around the documents, the classified documents that he took, he held, he moved, he concealed, he lied about, he showed to other people, 37 counts. If repeated or left unaddressed, these issues could result in significant national security risks and further erode public faith in our justice system. I thank you for your service, for pointing out what really matters when we have a very dangerous former president and criminal indictments to come. A mess of Mr. Trump's own making. I am baffled by this committee's lifting up of a corrupt president.
The gentlelady has expired.
And I thank you for indulging me just as you indulge yourself. Thank you.
God bless you. That's right.